Double elimination is a pretty great format, hey? Not as cutthroat, gives everyone a good shot to play as much as possible, and of course, the opportunity for losers runs. There's nothing quite like them, are there? Yeah, being a top seed who wins through winners in a cruisy fashion is neat, but nothing beats the raw tension, build-up, and release of someone who's crawled all the way through the shark tank of losers to triumph where they shouldn't. So let's delve into it, using 4 of my favourite losers runs, 1 from my region, 1 from Japan, and 2 from NA, to frame just why everyone loves a hard-fought win. The first step of any losers run, regardless of if you're at the event or chilling at home watching the bracket and stream unfold, that initial question of, can they actually do it, is always raised. Here across all these runs, each of these players was seeded for top 8 and fell into losers far earlier than anyone would have picked it. The question was 100% raised and doubts were made. J Dizzle needed 9 set wins to raise the trophy in his home region. Leo had dropped to losers the earliest he'd ever been sent there and would require 11 sets to continue his dominance. Zachary, looking to go back-to-back at Kagaribi for the first time, would need to knock down 7 sets straight, and Tweak, a player known for being out of it the moment he hits losers, would also need 11 sets to close out a historic win and send a message that losers bracket Tweak is a thing. These are absolute mountains to climb to get wins, and that's what I think draws players in. It's the questions and doubt around if they can do it, the pure number of sets to win, the quality of players that have to be torn through, the mental stamina required to just keep playing and winning that shocks everyone when the dream run does get closed out. Let's think of a major bracket as if you're climbing a mountain. Winner's bracket is the pristine path. It's a simple, straightforward climb, but then being upset is an inconvenience that moves you backwards, that forces a new route. Part of the path fell away. Wild animals blocked the route. Perhaps some other climbers were a little more effective on the day and pushed you down the mount. You're not out, but you're certainly down. You know if you take another fall like that, that's it. You're done. Some at this point will give up and take one more fall and head home. Some will get a little further and then be done, but a true loser's run comes from those who see their new route, despite how hard it is as a climb which can be surmounted. The resilience and resolve from these players is what splits the pack. Zachary's first opponent in losers was someone who had his number across the entire year. Outside of his first opponent, Leo's run exclusively contained PGRU opponents. Tweak ran through a gauntlet of characters unfriendly to his character pool. J Dizzle faced many of the country's new stars, and then the Victorians which had pushed him to the brink during the season prior. The tension of a loser's run begins here. Who are the climbers of the mountain you're fighting on this rougher path? And are you resilient enough to be pushed to the brink over and over? Then we near the summit, top 8. This is where the climb begins to align with those on the winner's path. But with a break in play after storming through all these opponents, does the momentum halt? When these players stop, another question is raised as a viewer. How much is left in the tank? Bracket stamina is one of the hardest skills to learn as a player in the double elimination format. Due to the nature of the format, 50% of players in a bracket will go 0-2. A typical weekly at most will have you only winning 5 to 6 sets to claim a bracket. A major losers run where you need to be winning 10 plus sets to claim victory is not a skill that can be emulated often in a normal bracket. How do these players not get exhausted when they've reached a rest stop on their way to the summit? Simple, it's all upstairs. Keep your eyes on the peak and don't look back. Across these brackets, top cut and top 8 are all the same day. There's a break, yeah, but not long enough to hinder the mental resilience and stamina. The climb keeps going. This is when, as a spectator, the belief swells. Losers 8s, handled. Now there's 6 competitors left standing. Only one guy who started on the rickety path up the mountain is left. The smooth path and rickety path are beginning to intersect. Now we see those efficient climbers meet with those who've gone the long way around. Losers quarters is maintained. There's 4 climbers left, and then the race to the finish begins. We're so close to the paths converging. The crowd is well and truly with the underdog now. Doesn't matter what their seed was at the beginning, they've worked harder than any other player in the bracket to get here. The crowd is with them. Some of our climbers will have small hills to get over to reach the same path once again, but some of our climbers will have a hill with an incline that's just unfair. But listen, the crowd's with them. The gas in the tank may be running low, but they can't quit now. It's right there. Some have ran out of gas here. Others are not the same. But once the dust settles, we reach it after all this extra climbing, the summit. All that stands between the resilient and the efficient climber is each other. This is what separates a loser's run and two competitors who started top 8, both in winners. It now becomes an underdog versus a titan story. Look at these efforts. Across our 4 stories we've looked at, there's 2 left out of hundreds of climbers, sometimes thousands, but Grands is different. Maybe our underdog has played opponents twice, maybe even the climber responsible for sending them tumbling down. Now it's no break between these two grueling climbs to get to the top, but the stamina between these players aren't equal. If the underdog isn't ready from the start, our titan may just speed off and take it cleanly. The crowd may be with the underdog, but it's all on them. When the losers bracket champion can make the climb though, a loser's win is euphoric for everyone. Commentators, the crowd, home viewers, those watching the VODs back, but of course, the player. Nothing like a losers bracket pop-off, because god, did they work for it. Why do we love losers bracket runs? It's for that. We may often see short losers runs which amount to nothing, or those who get touching distance away, but on the rare occasion it happens, and they win it all. There's nothing like it. They may not have begun the bracket as the underdog, but they sure as hell finished the bracket as one. The resilience and resolve is unmatched as they become the people's champ and etch their names in history. Whether it's the best of the best being tested to prove they can do it, a redemption story, or a rising star, one thing is for sure, there's nothing like a loser's run. Doesn't matter if it's your local low tour, someone mid-level, or a big dog being upset early on. When they enter the shark tank of losers, everything is on the line, and it's all down to them to see if they can make the climb. Thanks for watching.
Okay, this...
And just like that, Zachary is your Kagaribi 6 champion. 2-time champ too.
Yeah.